Hear ye, this is Lord Potato, and this is what if Asta was a descendant of King Arthur Pendragon, Part 2. Now, I know what you're thinking. What about the other what ifs? Don't worry, I got them under control. Not really, I'm thinking a lot of, also what ifs. First thought of my, also what ifs. Yeah, I have so many in my head that, well, I have one that it might be just a one shot. I don't know. I just had one that's like probably a one shot that I want to do. Uh, Also, I have another one that, well, I think I forgot now because when I'm talking about this, I completely forgot about it. But don't worry, I'll probably think of it later. Man, I should really make a list of all the what ifs I just fucking think of. And just when I like start running low on what ifs, I should go to that list to see what ifs I should do now. Because I have like my head goes running for a while if I keep watching more. I don't know what's it called. Like if I'm just watching or hearing music or even just watching anime in general, my head runs like a mock and starts just for some reason picking up so many ideas on what ifs, what to do, that it just goes through so many exploring on how this idea will work. So I should probably make a fucking list on what all the what ifs I'm thinking about, instead of me kind of thinking them about them and then forgetting, then thinking them the other day, and you know what? My fucking brain works on a fucking different level from different people. Yeah, gotta make that list now. But not the point. What's it called? Let me go into this. What if I was rambling on way too much? But let me say something. Go subscribe to Anime Sensei. I kind of what ifs and Obito what ifs. I haven't put the description in like 3 what ifs that I uploaded because, well, laziness. Yeah, it started kicking in. I will mention that later on a stream tomorrow or something, because yes, tomorrow I'll be streaming or something whenever. It's not a fucking promise, a sure or anything. It's a good chance I'll be streaming. Good chance. Probably not. But let me go into this. What if I should shut up now? But let's go. No recaps because it hasn't been 1 month, so shut the fuck up. So let's begin. But we go into Asta, Junko, Umi, and Yuno get into the kind of kind of the Magic Night exam. Of course, is where Junko and Asta went to go mess around because, yes, they didn't actually go to exam, and the exam will actually start later on. It's where Yuno and Umi goes to kind of look around. It's where Junko and, well, Asta do kind of, well, Junko kind of always like daring people to kind of take their money. So, of course, she has tons of money right now. It's where, well, they kind of go to kind of footsteps and start eating, but yeah. It's where, well, they kind of bump into a girl with kind of like, well, not bump into her, mostly kind of see a kind of bully happening, like bullying. Now remember, kids, if someone ever bully you, pull out the fucking 9 and shoot them in the head. Not really, don't actually listen to me. But not the point. Let me go back into the what if. So of course they see someone actually getting bullied by, like, it looks like their older sibling. And so where, well, this person has white hair and his hair is fucking fucked up. So yeah. Of course, his name is Solid. The girl kind of said, Solid, please. She starts kind of crying. And of course, this is where, well, the girl who's actually crying is actually Noelle. Noelle, who kind of has the black book, what's it called, like, thing on her, because she did get it earlier. And this is where, well, she's crying because Solid is keep bullying her. Of course, this is where it's only Solid, not what's it called, Noelle, or what's it called, the other one. So, of course, Solid saying, oh, you stupid bitch. So pathetic. How are you even a fucking part of the Sylvian family? Blah, 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 blah. That's it, well, Asta says, hey, Junko, you're thinking what I'm thinking? Junko says, yeah, we should beat him up. Asta says, nah, I have a better idea. This is where she says, well, I should give him my grimoire. This is where Junko smiles, very sadistic, and says, yeah, you should. Right? Asta did also smile, very sadistic at the same time. It's where, well, they go up to Solid and, well, Noelle, and this is where Asta says, "Hey, dude, can you hold my grimoire for a second?" This is where Solid says, "What do you mean?" This is where Asta throw the shiny book of the grimoire that has a fucking 7-leaf pattern, crosses near the edges, and of course having like a dragon head. And this is where Solid says, "What do you?" He grabs it and he just falls down to the ground right now, screaming in pain, saying, "What the hell? What is this book made out of? Fucking titanium? What the hell?" This is where, well, Asta kind of told Junko to grab Noelle's arm and then kind of like take her around the fucking... Yeah, so basically they just take Noelle away from Solid. And of course, Junko and Asta are talking to Noelle. Noelle started feeling a little bit better, thinking that Asta and Junko are Noelle because they look way too good to actually be commoners. And of course, this is where she starts feeling a little bit better. From the fact that Junko is telling her nice things and all that, Asa's doing the same thing, and of course Noelle started blushing more because Asa looks way too good. Like, you see here, Asa's eyes might be a mixture of color, one being purple, one being green, but at the same time his hair is having like golden highlights and like the silverish gray because, yeah. But of course, Asa is talking to her. Of course, Asa still has Excalibur in his head saying, "Do you think that was a bad idea to kind of put the grimoire on top of him?" Asta says, "Don't worry, I can find it later." Bitai, remember the last time I kind of lost it? Yes, I know. This is where Asta says, "Exactly. So I can get it later." Okay, whatever you say, sir. This is where Noelle and Junko and even Asta are kind of having fun, just kind of walking around and kind of messing around a little bit. But yeah, this is where, well, Noelle found out that Junko is very sadistic and very manipulated against people's feelings half the time. Asta, on the other hand, is very kind and friendly, but at the same time can have the little personality of Junko a little bit. But of course, he's also very protective of anyone. This is where, well, one time there was a kind of, when they were kind of walking around, a guy kind of came out of nowhere and grabbed Junko and says, "Well, you're beautiful, you should go," and yeah, blah, 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 because he was drunken. This is where Asta says, "Hey, let go of her." Asta grabbed the person from the arm. This is where he says, "Well, why should I listen?" This is where Asta breaks his arm and says, "Like I said, either you listen to me now or I'll break all your bones in your body." Asta, I should mention, is right now 5'8". He's actually taller than Yuno. Yuno is 5'7". Junko is 5'6". Well, no. I didn't. Well, I fucked that up. No, Asa's not 5'8". Asa's actually 5'6", the same height as Junko. Yuno's also kind of 5'6". He's not 5'7", because when he's 5'7", he was actually 16 at the time, but not really. This is where Umi is actually 5'5". She's the only one kind of smaller than everyone else, but yeah. Of course, it were Asta. He did break this person's arm, and so he better let go of her, bastard. This is where, well, Junko blushes because, yes, Asta is very overprotective, and Noelle can actually see how powerful Asta is. I should mention one thing. Asta has a black cloak around him. Like, not a black cloak, like a black coat. Black and white mostly. It does have a pattern that's kind of like put on there, like a patch of like kind of sew on there. Mostly thanks to Sister Lily, because Asta did ask for this. This is where, well, so it's a black coat, yes, but it has a white cross that Asta kind of asked for. This is where, well, Sister Lily kind of put it on there while kind of saying sure. This is where Asta has it, but also has like some dragon symbol on there. This is where, well, Noelle is confused what's with the kind of symbol. That's why Asta says, I don't know, I kind of like dragons. I like the cross also, so don't worry about it. It's just a interesting pattern that one of my somewhat mother figures kind of like put on there. This is where, well, Noelle's confused with mother figures, but of course she kind of just nodded off. She didn't actually ask for their names yet, but yeah. So of course this is where, well, let me go into what blah blah. But of course this is where, well, Asta is kind of just talking to Noelle, and of course, well, Junko's also talking to her, but yeah. But of course, this is where, well, they keep walking around. This is where Noelle, she kind of talks a little bit, saying about her family and all that she's from the Sylvian and all that. And she does kind of talk about how, well, a little bit about her older siblings kind of bullying her. This is where, well, Junko and Asta kind of get annoyed with the sibling part because they have about smaller siblings, and since they are the oldest, and and Umi, they should be protecting each other. This is where, well, Asta and Junko kind of like cheer her up and other things, but yeah. This is where Noelle then asks, "Who's the oldest in your family?" She asks to both of them. This is where Asta and Noelle kind of, well, not Noelle, Asta and Junko explains that there's actually 4 of them in total. Them being 2 of them and the other 2 kind of going somewhere around. Of course, they're only kind of, well, orphans. This is where Noelle was shocked. She thought they were from actually a royal family. This is where, well, Junko explains that she doesn't know about her family, but of course, she was kind of blessed with extremely lots of mana. But yeah, she doesn't really care about trying to figure out her family because whoever her family was, well, she kind of hates him a little bit. And so where Asta, he kind of explains that he doesn't have, well, family neither, and he is an orphan. Kind of, well, yeah, there's kind of siblings a little bit, but not really. But of course, they're only orphans, so yeah. Of course, this is where, well, Noelle was shocked, but of course, then just nodded. This is where, well, they talk about the other 2, one being Yuno, and of course, this is where Junko explains about Yuno's personality. Mostly his childhood personality, not his personality right now. This is where, well, Asta explains about his actual personality because, yes, well, Asta kind of had it too because Junko was actually explaining about his childish one, but yeah. This is where, well, Asta also does explain for Umi's, but yeah. This is where Junko wanted to explain her little one, but yeah, I mean, they are both the same when they were younger and older for Umi because she's been kind, really nice, and other things. This is where, well, Noelle was shocked, but of course realized that they are pretty nice, both Asta and Junko, even if Junko has a very sadistic side. This is where, well, Noelle says, interesting. So, are you 2 going to try to be, what's called Magic Knights? This is where Asta says, yeah, we're actually here for the Magic Knight exam. We're just thinking, which Magic Knight, Magic Knight should we join? I really want to join one that doesn't really have nobles. I heard that the Pink Flamingo doesn't really have nobles. Mostly that person, the captain, is mostly asleep all the time. Asta kind of heard about, or not Asta, mostly Junko. That's where Asta says, don't know what. Hey, Noelle, what Magic Knight are you mostly in? This is where Noelle kind of like feels sad, but says the Black Wolves. Asta says, cool, then we're going to join that instead. Asta said. This is where Junko said, yeah, let's join it. This is where, well, Noelle was shocked. Why would you join something like that? Asta says, it's mostly because of the freedom. I don't really want to be ordered around most of the time. Because, yeah, I feel bored enough to be ordered around. And besides, that won't really work with my sleeping schedule. This is where, well, Junko says, God damn it, Asta, do you really not sleep that much? Oh, come on, it's fine, Asta says. 3 hours of sleep is... This is where Junko smacked him in the head saying, idiot, 3 hours is not enough. Oh, sorry, fine. 3 hours is not enough, okay? Noelle, not Noelle, mostly Junko sighs and says, good. This is where, well, the Magic Night exam is actually about to start in like 2 hours, and this is where Asta says, oh shit, gotta get my grimoire. This is where, well, Junko kind of walks with Noelle still, and says that they were, well, be with each other, yeah. Of course, this is where Noelle has to go back to Black Bull hideout. And this is where Junko says, well, I will see you there, what's it called, Bessie? She kind of does tell Noelle that. And of course, this is where Junko is going to the Magic Night exam, waiting for Asta. That's where Asta is looking for his book. Of course, he knows where it is. He knows where the mana is at. And where Solid is right now struggling in getting the book off of him. He's like, God damn it! This is where, well, Noelle kind of appears saying, Solid, what are you doing? How can you not pick up a book like that? Fine, let me help you. Mercury magic. Mercury, what's called grab. This is where, well, he sends Mercury and of course tries to grab the book, and when he starts trying to lift it, he can't. It won't budge. This is where multiple Magic Knights actually appear at the scene, seeing this. Right now, Yami is laughing, seeing it, what's called Noelle barely being able to pick up the book, and even Solid, he's just laughing. I said even twice. This is where Yami is laughing. This is where, well, Jack is bursting into tears also because of the fact that Noelle can't even pick it up. This is where half the other magical knights are like, really? It's just a grimoire, pick it up. This is where, well, it's all the same, I'm trying to. This is where, well, what's it called, what's his name? Fulgolion says, really? Noelle, you can't pick it up? It's not that hard. It's the word Noelle says, Fulgolion, if that's so true, then you pick it up. Fulgolion says, fine. He tries to pick it up and says, what the? This is where everyone else is trying, and this is where the magic, what's it called? Julius actually appears and says, what are y'all doing? You realize the, what's it called, Magic Knight's exam is going to start about, I don't know, 30 minutes? This is where Asta is still looking for his grimoire, found it, and this is where Julius says, what's with the grimoire? Can you not pick it up? Yami is bursting into tears, seeing every Magic Knight not be able to pick it up. This is where Julius tries to pick it up and realizes he can't pick it up. He uses his time, and it gets erased when the space magic kind of appears next to, well, or trying to put in a space binding magic, gets erased. Yeah, Noelle will find that out that he can't really pick it up because the magic does get destroyed in an instant. This is where Yami is bursting into tears at all of them, seeing how they are so, well, pathetic. He is even laughing at Julius. Julius says, okay, Yami, if it's so mighty of you, how about you pick it up? This is where Yami says, sure. This is where, well, Asta is still walking around, found his book, and this is where Asta says, ooh, thank you for my book. Thank you for holding it, mister. This is where, before Yami even got there, Asta picks it up pretty easily and just walks away. This is where his shiny book was put into his case and just walks away. This is where, well, everyone is shocked. The hell? Asta then disappears in a, like, what's it called? Asta just disappears and then just, let me say that again. Asta disappeared in this divine light. He just went, pew! Yeah, Asta was gone. Asta appears next to Junko, says, let's go, Junko. Junko says, finally, you got your book. It took 2 hours. Sorry, I kind of lost it a little bit. Don't worry, I found it. That's where Junko says, come on. That's where every Magic Knight is shocked and just disappointed in himself. A kid just walked up, picked up the book, and walked away. And just disappears in this blinding light. Julius was so shocked. He was like, whoa, what kind of magic was that? That's where, well, everyone was like, God damn it, Julius is becoming a nerd again. God damn it. This is where, well, not a nerd, mostly a geek in fucking magic, but yeah. This is where, well, Noelle and even what's called Fulgolion are right now looking away. Right now, just embarrassed. Yami is still laughing at all of them, saying, you guys. This is where everyone is glaring at him, but yeah. This is where, well, Julius says, God, I have to go back. Before, well, Mushroom Head appears and says, hey, Julius. Julius disappears and right now appears in his office, says, yes. This is where Marge says, fine, I won't scream at you. This is where, well, Yami says, well, time to get to the Magic Knight exam. Of course, they all get there. And of course, this is where, well, they look around and see some of the promising ones. This is where it's starting to do the magic. This is where it's first the Brooms. This is where Williams wasn't there to actually look at the book because he was already at the Magic Knight exam. He was just confused where everyone the fuck was at. This is where he starts the Brooms. This is where Fulgolion and even Noelle looking around. Seeing everyone was kind of struggle a little bit with the Brooms a little bit. This is where Yuno is blessed with just kind of flying up pretty easily. Umi's the same. Umi's kind of surfing around because, yeah, while Yunos can easily fly around and kind of stand up on his broom, right now Umi's kind of feeling like she's surfing on the broom. But yeah, this is where, well, Junko flies up pretty easily. She's right now laughing at all the losers but let me say that again. For fuck's sake, I cannot talk right now. Who can't really fly on the broom mostly. And of course, this is where, well, Asta, who is right now asleep. Like, he is half asleep. And the broom just lifts up pretty easily and flies him around. That's what I was... But yeah. This is where so many people are shocked with the people just flying around while Junko is like standing on one foot and laughing at everyone. Yuno's easily just standing up there right now, kind of gliding with his broom flying around. Umi is kind of surfing and Asta's fucking half asleep on his broom. He's just asleep. He's right now having his like head on what's it called, the back of the broom, and just also just fucking asleep. He is tired. This is where Junko's laughing at them, saying, "Wow, you guys are pathetic. You can't even do anything like this. How is that even possible?" She right now just sticking her tongue and right now having her, well, one of her hands on her eye, just saying, weaklings. This is where so many of them feel really terrible about themselves, but yeah. Even the nobles are like, how? This is where, well, some of the Magic Knights captains already realized, what's it called, not Naruto, Asta, who's right now asleep. This is where, well, they're like in shock with the four of them, but of course shocked with Asta being asleep right now. And his fucking magic just broom be flying around, but yeah, super easily. But of course, I should mention one thing, the broom is actually glittering in golden light. Golden and silver light mostly. But yeah. This is where, well, the sleeping captain already realized that Asta's sleeping. And she's interesting. But yeah. This is where, well, they go into the other kind of exams. Of course, this is where Yuno's managing to actually spread his magic into kind of creating stuff. Of course, this is where Umi kind of creates like the sea around when she's creating it, because yeah, there's like the exams and all that. This is where Yuno's magic is wind and Umi's with water. They're kind of creating it in there. This is where Junko creates her own magic. Right now, it's kind of looking like reddish flames, but yeah. This is where when Asta creates his magic, it's legit divine holy light. Asta, who's right now falling asleep again. This is where, well, Asta doesn't actually really try. He half-ass tries it on the, what's it called, magic exams, just to get the lowest scored. But of course, Junko always kicks him to wake him up. But yeah, Asta says, fine. This is where, well, Junko says, come on, Asta, you can't be such a drag about this, okay? This is where, well, Asta says, fine. It's such a drag anyway. Idiot. This is where, well, Asta says, well, you calling me an idiot now? Yes, because I had to wake you up somehow. Asta says, fine. Of course, next thing is the partners, and this is where Asta says, who would I pick? This is where a Magic Knight, what's called royalty, actually picks him. Well, mostly a noble, and says, I'll be fighting you. That's where Asta says, sure. Let's just hurry this up. I'm really tired. The fuck off. Haha guy wanted to pick against Umi because Haha thinks that he'll be able to fight against a girl or tries to use his charms. But of course, this is where Umi wasn't impressed and kind of just smashes his head with a water fist, kind of using the same magical power that's similar to Sister Lily's. This is where, well, she kind of says, oops, I accidentally did that. Sorry about that. She kind of says sorry. Of course, this is where Junko says, it was no need to sorry. That prick should have fucking died. This is where, haha guys. But yeah, this is where still goes against with this lightning guy. Junko goes against a noble person, and of course, right now manipulates this noble person to actually become so depressed the whole match that he just gave up. He gave up so easily. He accidentally, when he tries to use his like magic fire style, instead of sending the fire attack at Junko, it exploded right in front of his face, knocking him out. Junko was laughing at him, saying, pathetic idiot weakling. Haha. This is where, well, what's it called? Yami was really, impressed with, Junko, that he's thinking to put her on her team. Because what he gets reminded of Junko is kind of Zara, who's actually always a prick about nobles, but yeah. This is where, well, he has a very mouthful, but yeah. This is where he says, should be interesting. This is where, well, next it is, well, the golden person that's mostly asleep half the damn time and half-assing it, what's it called, for this whole magic exam. This is where Yami knows that this is the same boy that kind of grabbed that book, and of course this is where, well, the noble says, I guess I'll be fighting you. Well, you should give up now, commoner. I don't care if you're a commoner or not, but you will not win. This is where he kind of like pulls out like a kind of magic that's actually similar to William's, but yeah. So where, well, they're kind of looking at this, and of course this person actually makes a tree, a small tree. It wasn't big enough like William's, like original canon. This is where, well, he says, my magic is tree magic, and I will win. This is where Asta says, Asta keep doing that noise, and this is where the person says, "Huh? What are you?" This is where William's actually impressed with the tree magic dude. Of course, this is where Asta says, "Great, I have to keep fighting against you. Fine, fine, fine. Let me right now show you what I can do, right?" Asta says, "But I'm too tired to even fight you." Junko says, "Asta!" Asta says, "Fine." This is where he pulls out his grimoire, which it does kind of show to have this holy light on it. This is where, well, the heavens right now kind of glitter in this holy light. Asta says, This is where the person says, "What is that grimoire?" Everyone wind their eyes. This is where, well, Asta says, "Whatever. I should probably destroy you in an instant," or something like that. Sure. This is where Asta pulls out Excalibur and says, "Excalibur." He reads through a page and says, "Divine Holy Light slashes." Fine. This is where Asta says, Divine Holy Slashes." Well, yeah, that's what he said. Asta swings his sword about 5 times, and then this is where Asta reads another page. Divine Slash of Devastation cuts. Well, cut mostly. Asta swung his sword down the middle, and this is where, well, the 5 slashes hit this person first, and he was 100 eyes because the tree got easily cut down like a million fucking pieces. And when the slash goes down straight towards his noble, he gets cut in an instant and cut in half. This is where behind him gets obliterated in an instant. Asta says, "Oh shit, I'm accidentally used way too much mana for that. Oops." Whatever, who cares? Asta puts his sword back, and this is where, well, he then kind of puts his book back into his case, and this is where he walks towards Junko, falls asleep on her. This is where Junko says, "Asta!" This is where she says, "Asta, God damn it, you idiot." This is where, well, she says, "Baha, you fucking noble loser." The noble is already dead. This is where the Magic Knights wind their eyes how powerful Asta is. Asta, legit half-assing this whole fucking exam, is so powerful that he could legit obliterate half the, people in this, Magic Knight exam. Half of them wind their eyes how powerful Asta is. How powerful Asta, even though he's a commoner, seems to be so powerful. Mana is actually dancing around him mostly. The reason why Asta's Mana is kind of dancing around him is because how he is somewhat royalty. He's actually royalty and not actually some different noble in the Clover Kingdom. He's complete royal for another kingdom. And if you know where King Arthur Pendragon is from, the kingdom named Camelot, then you know damn well Asta is going to be from there. So of course Asta is kind of just sleeping with Junko mostly near her shoulder, but yeah. As to where, well, the Magic Knights have to vote for who they want to get. As to where, well, multiple people wanted to pick Yuno. Of course, Yuno went with the Golden Dawn. Umi went with the Blue Rose because she saw how, well, this is where, well, Umi kind of went with the Blue Rose. This is where Junko kind of sees all the people kind of like asking her to be there. Well, mostly 2 people, but yeah. It was kind of the Blue Rose. And of course, Yami. This is where Junko went with Yami. Of course, this is where Shara was confused, but okay. This is where, well, next it was Asta's time. This is where multiple people actually raises up their hands, even the sleeping girl. This is where, well, Asta, who looks at all of them, this is where some of them are going to say he's going to definitely pick the Golden Dawn. Asta says, "Hey Junko, who do you pick again?" The Black Bulls. This is where Asta says, "Black Bulls instead." This is where everyone falls down, like, what the hell? Even the Magic Knights all fell down, except for Yami. Yami was laughing at all of them, saying, "Wow, all I had to do is raise up my hand for the girl, and legit, the boy follow along. So screw all of you, ha!" That's where everyone says, this is where William says, "Are you sure you don't want to go with me?" Asta says, "Why would I follow Yuno? Meh. It seems too boring to actually follow him." This is where Yuno goes, "You asshole." This is where Asta says, "But whatever." Besides, you probably remember this. The Black Bulls at least have more freedom and other things. You see here, I'm not gonna be trying to be worked down to the bone. I said I just want to sleep. I don't really care about half of this shit. But good luck. Honestly, just kind of jump on top of the Magic Knights, well, mostly Captain's quarters and all that, with all the other people kind of sitting on that. Well, kind of falling down. I also say, so, Yami, what was your name? Yami says, Yami, I forgot his last name, what's it called? So, Yami says, Sukihiro. The Sora also says, well, nice to meet you, Yami Sukihiro. The name is Asta. That's where, well, Yami says, good to know. Well, we should probably be leaving then. I'm not really gonna pick out anyone else from this crowd, but yeah. That's where another girl did kind of stand out, and this is where she says, am I not gonna be picked or anything? This is where Yami says, huh? Who are you? This is where this girl, her kind of, one eye is kind of protected, well, kind of like, mostly in an eye patch and all that. And of course, where her other eye is kind of showing crimson red. Well, her abilities was able to kind of use time ability, similar to Julius. This is where she's not the daughter of Julius, but of course, her hair is mostly black. This is where Yami says, you might sure I'll pick you also. You want to come along, kid, or what? She says, no, it's fine. Her name is Kurumi, and of course, she follows along, but yeah. Or, no, not Kurumi. No. Of course, where, well, there was no, I'm not making the OC character now. It was just Junko and Asta coming along, but yeah. Of course, is where they kind of go towards, well, the Black Bulls, and of course, is where, well, so Yami says, okay, so this is Black Bulls. They're kind of crazy, but yeah, don't mind them. That's where Junko says, I don't really mind them. They're okay. I guess so. That's where also says, yeah, yeah, I'm tired. That's where, well, Yami says, okay, so you're sleeping and you're really sadistic. You probably fit in pretty easily in this whole Black Bull hideout. This is where, well, Magna appears right now trying to fight against Asta. Asta says, well, I'll be fighting against you. Good to know. This is where, well, Magna tries to make Asta do a bunch of push-ups and other things. Asta does it pretty easily. And this is where Magna says, damn, fight me! This is where Asta appears right now, smashing a kick down to his head and knocking his ass out. And how fast Asta is with his just normal speed. This is where Yami was very impressed. This is where, well, Junko didn't really have to fight anyone. Even though Magna tried to fight her, Asta right now was in front of her saying, you want to piss me off even more? Magna says, no. This is where Luck was laughing, but yeah. This is where, well, Asta was asleep already. This is where Junko sighs and kind of just dragged Asta towards his room, but yeah. This is where Noelle was very shocked to actually see them, because she thought that they were actually joking of actually becoming Black Bulls, but right now, they were actually dead ass serious. This is where the next day happens, where, well, Asta was waking up pretty damn early, right now at 12 in the fucking morning. Yes, Asta wakes up pretty late because of how he does kind of wake up in the middle of the night to kind of train. But of course, when he tried to wake up in the middle of the night, it was mostly Junko stopping him. Now, Junko does sleep in Asta's same room because, well, they didn't actually tell her about her other room. They mostly thought that they were going to put Junko in another room. This is where Yami already realizes, and this is where he stops Junko from actually being one next to Asta. Doesn't care if they sleep together when they were orphans, but yeah, not happening. This is where, well, Junko has to sleep mostly in the girl's side, but yeah, she kind of sleeps well, and her room is kind of next to Noelle's, but yeah, she already found out Noelle is actually here, and Junko is just talking to Noelle. Asta does wake up at 12 in the morning, who is right now somewhat the afternoon, and of course he's in, what are they doing? Asta yawns. So where, well, Magna says, hey, it's time for chores. Asta says, what do you want? That's why Magna says, it's time for the chores. That's why Asta does the chores so fast and so clean, and of course the whole Black Bull hideout is so clean. Also, when he gets to the, like, what they call cage piece, Asta says, so I just have to feed them? Yep. Asta says, sure. That's where Asta feeds him pretty easily, and I didn't even try to eat him or anything. When Magna gets close, the beast tries to eat him in an instant. Asta's presence actually kind of scared him a little bit, but realized how kind Asta was. When Junko heard about the, what's it called, beast, the cage beast, she wanted to feed them every single day, because she thinks that they are actually adorable. This is where, well, they feel the energy from Junko and they get scared most of the time. But of course, when Junko does kind of try to feed Magna instead of actual meat, this is where they kind of get happy. And so Magna says, "What the hell?" But yeah, Magna's actually scared of Junko, but yeah, how really scared she is, but yeah. Of course, where Noelle kind of talks to Junko and Asta, and of course trying to help her in magic control. That's where Asta explains about how magic is a little bit. How easily he can control it a little bit, but yeah. This is where, well, Noelle does try to get help by, well, what's called Junko and Asta. This is where Asta cuts her down when she does go berserk, and this is where Asta says, "Okay, so we're not mostly the most likely people to actually help you control it. You should probably ask the others." This is where, well, Noelle says, "Okay." This is where, well, she feels saddened, but this is where the others still ask her if she needed help, mostly Vanessa, but yeah. This is where Junko is happy and still want to help her friend Noelle out, but yeah. Of course, where, well, the next day happens, and of course, a mission is set to kind of kill some boars. Asta, Noelle, Junko, and even Magna are having to go there. This is where, well, they get to the boar site, and of course, Asta just had to sleep on his own broom. Junko had to go on her own broom with Noelle because, yes, they can easily control their magic. This is where, well, Magda's there just to keep an eye, but of course, where, well, Asta doesn't really need help that much. He can just use Excalibur, and of course, he cuts down the boards pretty easily. This is where Asta, he goes back to sleep. This is where Junko and, well, Noelle are Junko's trying to help her in controlling her magic, and by trying to kind of manipulate Noelle's emotions, would kind of be happy a little bit. This is where, well, she realized when she actually does that, Noelle's magic actually increases and a little bit of controlment. That's where Noelle was shocked to actually know about that. Manipulation emotions magic, that was what Junko's magic was. Of course, Junko says, "I'm happy to know that you're actually happier." So Noelle says, "Yeah." So, Noelle says, "So, how close are you with Asta?" Asta right now cutting boards down and all that. This is where, well, Junko's face becomes red and says, "Oh, just like friends." Yeah. This is where Noelle says, "Okay. Has he, has he dated anyone?" And Noelle kind of asks that personal question. Junko's face becomes completely red and says, "No, and I hope not." And so where, well, Noelle heard that and says, I see. But I'll be shocked if he hasn't. This is where, well, Noelle says, "Okay, then I should really stop asking you these dumb questions. They were just questions just to kill and all that for time, because Asta was already done with the boards." Asta says, "So, what are you two talking about?" Asta coming back with a bunch of boards already killed. This is where both of their face becomes red, because Asta's shirt was kind of a little bit torn. Not his coat. He managed to kind of get away from one of the attacks of a boar, and it looks like the boar was a boss and all that, or just a big boar, that one of his tusks managed to get through and managed to cut Asta's shirt off. That's where it did kind of cut his, like, chest, but of course Asta's regeneration was so fast and just to heal it. Asta say, "Oh, sorry about my shirt. It kind of did get ripped on a little, the fact that I got kind of cocky. But I'll be fine." Oh, my chest melted. But yeah. This is where both of them say, "Yeah." This is where, well, Magna says, "Okay, let's get to this village." This is where when they get to the village, it's kind of covered with mist. And of course, Asta says, "So, do we just cut through it?" This is where Magna says, "Well, somehow we're gonna have to." Asta cuts through it with Excalibur, because Excalibur does have a little bit of nullifying magic. It's like the anti-magic sword, but much more powerful. This is where, well, Asta cuts through it easily. Like, he swings a little bit and he just cuts through it easily. That's where Asta says, "Well, time to fight against all the different, well, magic enemies." That's where Asta appears right now using Excalibur to easily slash them down before the old man was killed. This is where the old man was safe, and of course everyone was happy. So yeah, Asta's power is a little bit faster and stronger in this, well, what if. Of course, Asta did fall back asleep because he is tired. But yeah, of course, where Junko and Noelle kind of keeps training on that, on the magic control. But of course, Noelle managed to make a water nest like cage or another. Dragon cage, I think so, or was it just water dome? This is where it was the barrier. But yeah, of course, where they're going on, and of course, where they do get to the magic what's it called capital the next day because they do get their money and all that wages and all that. Of course, where Asta does get a lot of goals. Even Junko, how powerful they are, from the fact they did kind of do a lot of things on that mission. But yeah, that's where I'm going to end it off here because I'm actually getting extremely tired. But yeah, have a nice potato day, potato night, potato seed, potato, and good night. But yeah, bye.